right, good morning everybody. Welcome back to our Wednesday webinar series. I'm Garrett Anderson, the Marketing Director for Contract Furnishings. Thank you again for taking the time out of your hump day. We have a very exciting topic. First, a couple housekeeping notes. We are excited to share that all of our Washington stores are now back open. So thank you, Governor Inslee, for allowing us to safely, of course, make the steps back to our former real world. But all of our showrooms now, all 14 of them in Oregon and Washington, are now open for customers. We do have some precautions in line, of course, but just to keep that in mind, we're excited to get our North End stores back in action. Today we are talking about cabinetry, and I'm very fortunate to have our main man here in Gresham, Blade Rittiman. He is one of our 12 full-time cabinet designers. Now, first question, who knew we even offered cabinetry? Hands raised?
Right.
I did. So, unfortunately, sorry, we have a pretty average marketing guy, and so he may not have gotten the word out to you, but cabinetry is something that we introduced a number of years ago, because how can you be a one-stop shop for all your finished surface needs without cabinetry? So it's been a great addition to our services here at Contract Furnishings Mart, and we're excited to talk to Blade a little bit about that today. So, we have 5 different lines right here. So let's just start by kind of introducing the lines, and we'll talk about pros and cons, little differences, and then we'll get into some fun stuff with some different trends and whatnot. But first of all, let's talk about Medallion right here, one of our big ones.
So kind of an overview really quick. All of our cabinetry lines are going to be standard soft closed door and drawer with dovetail solid wood boxes. Each line kind of has a particular thing into the market as we go through that. So Medallion here, they offer the largest selection probably of finishes. They have all the trendy paint colors and tons of door options like that. They offer Silverline, Gold, and Platinum. They're tiered system, so Silverline is the entry level for theirs. Gold is going to be the mid-level, a lot more options, different things like that, accessories. And then Platinum is the inset line. That's your doors inset into that frame. This is a framed line, great for that traditional look.
Now, especially the inset, that's super traditional, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of a style that never goes out of style. Everybody, if you keep that, like a lot of cottages, a high-end cottage look, that's a fantastic look for that, but it's been around forever and it doesn't plan to go anywhere, definitely.
Nice. Now we also have some more European, some more modern stylings too. Now DesignCraft is basically a division of the Medallion family, right?
Yeah, so DesignCraft and Medallion have the same parent company of Cabinet Works. DesignCraft, they offer a lot of the same finishes, paints, and stains, except for they specialize in like zebra woods, different things like that. This is a frameless line, so it's a great intro to that European style look. From there, I would go to Belmont. Belmont, they offer the 1600 series, 19, and Vero. 16 and 19, the difference is 16 is going to be a 3/4 thick box, and the 1900 series is a 5/8. Vero series is going to be, it means true, so it's going to be that true European style with the fingerless handrail at the top. Belmont really specializes in having that, having laminate finishes and really trend-forward design. So they have the largest selection of laminate finishes. Their laminate is actually a high-end. It's pressed into the core of the door itself, so it's not some cheap kind of peel-off type of laminate.
Now, one cool thing about Medallion, DesignCraft, and Belmont is they're as local as you can get.
Exactly.
So we have Independence, Oregon, and Sumner, Washington for these two, right?
Yes, exactly. I appreciate you mentioning that. So both Medallion and DesignCraft are manufactured in Independence, Oregon, and then this one's up here in Sumner, Washington. So they're really local.
Now we also have a couple more maybe budget-friendly lines, right?
Definitely.
So starting with Mid-Continent right here.
Yeah, Mid-Continent is a great middle ground line. They have a ton of offerings, great door styles and finishes, but they also have not too many things. So everything you need and not anything you don't. So good quality, great manufacturer of a framed line. This one is made in Cottonwood, Minnesota. They still keep that great timeline though. This is actually one of the quicker lines as far as when you're working on a build. And then from there, the last line would be our Waypoint, which is actually what this island is made out of. Waypoint is my go-to for that entry-level builder-grade cabinetry. One of their niches into the market is they come standard with half-inch plywood ends. A lot of them come standard with furniture board ends, and so they do half-inch plywood ends as a standard. They have 25 door styles, and they're great for if you're doing like a duplex or a package deal. You can offer a paint in multiple colors, and it's all going to be the same price point. There's no markup on a maple for a paint versus a stain. And so they have just great selection for that entry-level market. Really good quality.
And really, like the main difference in some of these more entry level is fewer options, basically.
Yeah, basically they just offer less things. So some of them are fully customizable, down to the 16th of an inch with Belmont. Medallion is a tiered. They can do a 1/4 inch or 16th of an inch depending on the line. Waypoint, they keep that good price point because they're just kind of doing less. Once again, kind of to the same with the mid-continent, not doing the things you don't need, but they do have all the things you need. So they're going to have increments of 3 inches. It's going to be standard with those ones.
Now, they all have a white shaker, right?
Everybody has a white shaker.
And gray?
And gray, yes.
Okay,
everything white shaker and gray for sure.
So 90% of the market is covered with all of these, and there's bells and whistles beyond that. Now, tell us a little bit about, you mentioned the framed versus frameless. What does that look like in the actual construction?
Yeah, so framed cabinetry versus frameless. Framed cabinetry is going to be that traditional US made style where they have this face frame right here, and your door actually attaches to the face frame itself. And then, so same with that. The box is going to be inside mounted to that face frame. When you have a frameless cabinetry, there's no frame, so the door attaches straight to the box. And there's some advantages with that. You can get a little bit wider and taller drawer box because it's not limited by the face frame.
So you're using a little bit more of the space with the frameless, right?
Yeah, and I would say one of the main differences between the two is really style. With these two, framed and frameless, framed is more your traditional style. You can do mid-century homes, everything like that. They have a little bit of a gap between the doors. And then the frameless is going to be more true European contemporary designs. So it has a 16th of an inch reveal in the door, so it meets up together with only an 1/8 of an inch. Really nice tight lines and a clean look.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Yeah, ultimately it's more of a personal preference than anything. It's just aesthetics and the style.
They're both going to perform great. It's just kind of what style you're going for with your home on that one.
Now, speaking of performance, all of these are made in a factory.
Absolutely.
With a factory finish. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so one of the main things that's going to be a difference between our cabinetry offerings and a shop down the road that may do great cabinets is they're not going to have the same quality control. A multi-million-dollar factory where they're doing blacklight, sanding, and pretty much everything is controlled environment. Humidity, there's not going to be dust particles, things like that. So just really high-end finish that's unattainable with any other, with the garage or things like that. They're going to have it baked on and great finish, manually inspected all the way through.
I know I can speak from experience on, we had a kitchen years ago and we painted the cabinetry on site, and it was great because we could utilize the cabinets that we already had, but from using that with a family and kids and nicking that up versus having now the factory finish that's baked on, especially like a white shaker, something really simple that can get dinged up. This has performed miles better than what was painted on site.
Absolutely. You'll see a lot of homes where around the knobs and things like that is kind of rubbed off just from grabbing the door. I've had customers that have had Medallion Cabinetry for over 20 years and they come back, they can afford whatever, but they're looking for Medallion because they know they've had that quality consistent where they've been able to use the cabinetry over that time with their family and everything still holds up fantastically. And then off of that, probably the quality that we offer versus somebody down the road or Chinese made stuff is going to be the quality consistency. And really,
and again, having this stuff made somewhere locally in the States avoids potential tariffs. Obviously, we all want to support local and the U.S., especially now more than ever. But even when we need quick turnaround times on, say, a missing piece or something that arrived damaged, having something local that can be quickly turned out.
A lot of the times with that stuff, they need to make it, or it's still maybe on the ocean on its way over. They're going to have everything there ready to go, so they'll make that really quick in the factory and ship it to you, and it's going to get to you in an expedited time versus, who knows if you're missing a drawer bank from a manufacturer that's Chinese cabinets, it could be weeks before they get that particular cabinet in again, so.
Right. Now we have 5 lines obviously, and we've mentioned kind of there's some overlap in these. So really, why do we have, I know that each has some unique aspects. Is that just part of the design process with you and figuring out which is the best fit?
Yeah, so every line, has its own niche into the market. There's a reason you want to go with one. Say Waypoint is going to be that entry level if you're looking for a great price quality. Belmont. So when we come in, you'll be doing, that's how we will decide things with the initial design consultation. We'll have our brands over here. And when we did that initial design consultation, we'll be kind of figuring out what line works best for you. Each one has its way into the market. Frameless, if you want the nice contemporary look, or medallion for that traditional look. And from that design consultation, we'll come in here, figure out your door style, and I can get you use a price calculator to get you a rough price, so that way it's really efficient for you guys. You know where you're going to be at with the different accessories and things like that before we spend too much time and make a full design.
Yeah, that's a nice aspect, just having that tool to figure out exactly what's going to fit your budget or develop your budget before you spend too much time on a design you love, just to find out it's twice as much as you wanted to spend. So, again, there's so many bells and whistles. Is it just part of that conversation with a homeowner to decide which of the kind of the guts are going to go in there, what storage solutions and whatnot? How do you go about selecting those?
Yeah, so I'd say it depends. One of the big things for that is budget, but also their lifestyle. If they love baking, maybe there's things like a mixer cabinet. That would be, you want to create that baking station for them. It's really, you want to design to their lifestyle. So I would say that's kind of how we go through the process, what you like to do, how you function in your space, and then we can use that to make a 3D design. And then from that design, we can go forth and make a couple changes throughout. Say if you want the mixer cabinet to be facing the other way, or drawer bank next to the stove, then we can make those changes and get a 3D design set up for you.
And that system that you use is the 2020 system, which is specifically made for cabinetry, right?
Yeah.
So like when you're changing the design, you're pulling an actual SKU that has a price associated with it, and you're making designs that are, in real time. You can see all this stuff change right in front of your eyes, right?
Yeah, live change, and that'll really help you just envision that space. It's gonna have, we'll put the windows and everything in the place it's gonna be in your room, so that way it'll really help you visualize when you're standing at the range. Say, people are sitting down, and you want to be able to open the stove while people are at your overhang on the island.
That's
And
super cool.
you want to make sure that it's gonna, when you can visualize that space and it's actually gonna work. So you probably want people to sit on the other side of the island, away from the range, things like that. You can really visualize how you're gonna use that space.
And then down the process, you will come out and do a physical measurement just to confirm all that stuff before placing an order, right?
Yeah, so from there, we have that rough design, that first initial design, and then either I would go out and measure myself, or the trusted contractor, depending on who you're working with, how they like to do things. We're gonna get confirmed measurements of that job site and everything like that, and then they'll go over those last changes, and from there we can sign paperwork, get everything signed up, and get it ordered up.
Yeah, and the nice part about all this right now too is we can do a lot of that stuff remotely before you ever have to get into the house, as far as going through the design, creating the stuff, sharing the screens and whatnot. So definitely something to keep in mind there. And then you did mention also the installation component. Obviously, just like everything else in here, we focus on products and not installation. So the labor will come from really whoever you choose to partner up with. And cabinetry, much like tile, for example, is a very detailed installation process. So being able to choose who you work with, I think, speaks volumes and really make those right marriages, which we can assist with as well.
I've done some crown myself, and I'm not going to be the guy you hired.
And we can tell that you did it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so yeah, that goes through kind of the whole process. Typical lead times are about 6 to 8 weeks in general for all these. And there are a couple, like Mid-Continent, you told me earlier, that could go a little bit quicker.
A little bit quicker, yeah. If you're doing more customization, some brands you can even do a custom paint from Sherwin-Williams full fan, so that may take a little bit longer depending on the job.
Okay. All right, so we got all the details out of the way. Let's talk about the trends that you're seeing, some of the fun stuff. So what are the trends that everybody wants in their kitchen or bathroom now?
So 100%, 95% of your customers are going to be doing white shaker everywhere, and that's
95% of the time, 100% of the time.
95 and 100% of the time, they're doing that. So white shaker, and from there, they're kind of veering off to the grays, some of the grays over here, and it really depends on your market, where you're at. So if you're going to be in the metro areas, they're going to do more contemporary design, some of this frameless stuff where it's, this is a soft touch laminate, so it's laminate finish, it looks wood grain, they can do grain match, but it's actually going to have the durability over a long time, and then black and white is always a trend. So this is another new one from Belmont where they got a textured grain pattern right there. You can feel and see that.
Or this, really high gloss, white, modern.
And I would say
looks great when it's clean.
This
Probably don't want to
contemporary
have kids and fingerprints on it.
Right? There is a place for this one. That's probably one of the most popular contemporary styles right there.
And then, yeah, definitely trends in accents with the grays, of course, and then We had blues, and now greens are really popular too, I've seen.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's trending. People are getting really comfortable with the grays and whites, doing a two-tone kitchen maybe where the island's one color and then the main cabinetry is white. And they're starting to get comfortable with the blues over here and then also with the greens. Now you'll see that trending forward.
Yeah, I've also seen the natural wood elements that people still want to incorporate too, so it's not so stark,
Yeah,
black
definitely.
and white. Whether that's in floating shelves, which we offer as well, or just little pops in the island or uppers, lowers.
Yeah, there's all kinds of accessories, but with the colors, yeah, I would say they're definitely doing the two-tone. People often do the white, and they'll do like a beach tone wood is going, or a nice dark wood. I would say we're trending away from the reds that you'd see, or a lot of the honey oaks.
Right.
We replace honey oaks all the time with a nice white shaker kitchen, maybe two-tone with the chocolate island.
Thank you, 1980s.
Right.
And then you mentioned to me earlier this bad boy. So
Yeah.
an integrated garbage rollout.
So I would say 90% of the kitchen we're working on, if it's not an apartment, they want to do the built-in accessories, like with the trash can pull-out. Again, everything's soft close. And so trash can pull-outs, different things. We're aging in place, so as time goes on, we want things to be easier to work with. So they're creating more accessories for that. Anything from pull-downs inside of the drawer that's going to help you get down cereal for the kids or things like that, to blind corner spaces, super lazy Susans, kidney bean pull-outs, basically making it easier for you with things, even rollouts everywhere.
We
got
have some
rollouts
up
here. And so rollouts in drawers, that way pots and pans are easy accessible.
And really not only making it easier, but making the most out of the space that you have too.
Absolutely.
Really optimizing that. And speaking of, you already have all these different organizational tools, of course. I assume everybody is going to want some sort of cutlery storage and even having some multiple levels that you can utilize, right?
Yeah, definitely. We do a lot of trash cans, tiered cutlery, and different things. I would say those are the go-to for each kitchen is
Spice racks.
spice racks. Like I said, super late season trash cans, spice racks, tiered cutlery, rollouts. Those in every kitchen. You can do all kinds of things. So
And cabinetry to the ceiling, I've seen too, right?
a lot of people do crown to the ceiling, so they'll do maybe cabinetry in 6 inches away or so, and then a stack like L shape, and have that to the ceiling. With the European design, people are actually trying to go less to the ceiling, so it depends on your market. Traditionally, so like a couple of years ago, everybody was stretching everything to the ceiling, and we still see a lot of that, but we're also seeing people realizing they don't utilize a 10-foot run all the way to the ceiling. They're not even touching that top shelf, depending on what it is. So, yeah, just kind of doing less and more simple, clean design. Just depends on your market again, where you're at.
Nice. Yeah, so ultimately, we have options for everything and fully customizable with the added benefits of the factory finish and it being locally made, those climate controls, all that stuff. So, and the limited lifetime warranties. You mentioned all this
Yeah.
stuff offers that as well, right?
Yeah, every brand that we offer has a limited lifetime warranty, so if something gets chipped or damaged, or from the factory it's damaged, we'll be able to get that replaced right away. Depending on what it is, you just send us a photo, and we'll send that to our manufacturer, and we'll get a replacement door for you if it's damaged in shipping or anything like that.
Nice. All right, well, thank you, Blade. I think what we really wanted to accomplish today was let you know we have cabinetry, and then direct you to any one of our stores or our website to get started in that process. It's really cool. Again, trying to be that full service for you guys. And we're excited to have all of our showrooms open again. We hope to see you in person soon. So continue to be safe and keep making these baby steps towards normal, quote unquote. But we hope you all are doing well. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out again. Tyler, did we see any on this? Okay, so I guess we answered everybody's questions today. But we'll post this a little bit later. And definitely consider this for your future projects. It's been really successful for us and for the clients that we've worked with before. So something to look forward to. Again, thank you, Blade.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the Gresham store for turning down the volume on the music for us for a few minutes. Keep
like
in
that
mind, next week we are going to be undisclosed location, not sure yet, but we're going to be talking Carpet 101. So fibers and all that good stuff. So think about some questions for that, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. So take care.
Thank you.